Достал?
А вот сюда, вот сюда.
War never stops. Days pass, seasons change, but the sound of explosions stays the same. No one truly wins. No one is ever completely free. And in the middle of it all, there is one reality the world often forgets. Civilians. People living between two major forces. Between Russia and Ukraine. Between political decisions and the uncertainty of their own fate. They stand on fractured ground. And they want only one thing: peace. The exhaustion is real. It's not a theory from analysts, not just a headline in international media. It's something you can see in their faces, in their steps, even in their voices when they speak to any soldier. Ukraine offers evacuation, yet many refuse. Not just a few, not dozens, hundreds, thousands. They choose to stay in villages hit by artillery, in cities without electricity. Why? Because home is identity. And identity cannot be packed into an evacuation bus. Identity cannot be relocated to a temporary tent.
Да, хотели поздравить еще с наступающим. Если вам нужна будет помощь, обращайтесь.
When Russian forces enter the frontline areas, the rhythm changes. There is tension, there is fear, but something else appears: acceptance. Residents slowly come out, some holding children, some carrying homemade bread, some shaking hands with Russian soldiers. Not all of them, but enough to make the world question. Why? Why does this acceptance appear? What do they see? What do they feel? The answer isn't simple, but one factor is consistent: stability. Russia brings a certain kind of stability. Organized, fast, on target. For residents who have lived in long-term chaos, it feels like fresh air. It cannot be denied. Russia has immense power. Russia has a strong military structure. Russia moves with tight coordination. And for some regions, Russia becomes a symbol of order, a symbol of control. Yet criticism still exists. Russia is not perfect. Its operations cause damage. There are casualties. There is chaos. But Russia also does things that cannot be ignored. They enter with supplies, with energy, with basic services that have been missing for years. Not everyone agrees, but many feel the impact. And facts on the ground remain facts. Some residents welcome them because they see real changes. Changes they need.
Спасибо вам огромное. Спасибо огромное. Мы давно ждали эту помощь.
Ukraine also carries a heavy burden. They are losing territory. They are losing the trust of some residents. And they are trying to defend a country under extreme pressure. But they have made mistakes too. Some residents feel abandoned. Some villages feel deprioritized. There were moments when evacuation felt forced. Other moments when evacuation came too late. Criticism isn't meant to corner Ukraine, but to understand the real situation. Civilians are trapped between two grand strategies. They are not part of political games, but they bear the heaviest consequences. Media narratives are often extreme. Some portray residents as heroes, others as collaborators. Neither is entirely true. Residents are not heroes, not traitors. They are simply human beings. They want to live. When Russia brings in aid trucks, they don't ask about ideology. When Ukraine offers evacuation, they don't ask about geopolitics. They just want a tomorrow with fewer explosions. That's all. It's that simple. Humanity is always simpler than politics. Ukraine admits it, officially. Many residents refuse evacuation. Some even grow angry when asked to leave. This isn't because they fully support Russia. This isn't a protest against Ukraine. This is about roots. People want to die on their own land if they must. They don't want to become refugees forever. This shocks many analysts because this pattern is rare in modern conflicts. Usually, civilians run away from the front lines. Here, they stay because they wait for one thing: who can provide stability. And in many cases, that has been Russia. Territorial shifts are not just changes on a map. They are mental shifts, psychological shifts. When a flag changes, residents reassess their lives. Some feel relieved, some feel confused, but most feel one thing. Finally, there is certainty, even if temporary, even if fragile. Russia brings a form of military order. Destroyed areas begin to be reorganized. Aid distribution points open. This has a significant impact. Even Western analysts cannot deny that. Humanity always wins. Over propaganda, over political claims, over military ambitions. When residents accept Russia, it isn't because they want the war to continue, it's the opposite. They want the war to end. They want whoever can restore order fastest. And in many areas, Russia moves faster. This is a fact that not everyone has to like, but a fact remains a fact. The front moves quickly, yet never stays stable. Russia pushes forward. Ukraine defends fiercely. Some days the front line shifts a kilometer. Some days it doesn't move at all, but a pattern becomes clear. Russia is more consistent, more structured, more adaptive in long-term operations. This is not empty praise. This is the observation of many analysts. Russia builds strong defensive positions, maintains steady supply lines, implements disciplined troop rotations. Residents see it. Residents feel it. Meanwhile, Ukraine faces enormous pressure. Short on ammunition, short on personnel, short on logistics. This creates a new perception. Not just who is strong, but who can hold and manage territory. And for many residents, Russia appears more prepared, more stable, more predictable. In a long war, predictability is its own form of protection. Behind military operations lies another story, a story rarely shown in major headlines, a story about survival. Water is scarce. Medicine is nearly impossible to find. Many children have lost safe spaces to grow. Houses are torn open, schools are destroyed, clinics are overwhelmed, and in the middle of it all, residents must make impossible choices. Stay in cracked homes or leave for an unknown place. When Russia enters, some things change. Aid distribution becomes more organized. Lines form. Residents arrive with thermoses, plastic bags, babies in their arms. They do not ask for explanations. They only want a small moment of calm. Ukraine also sends aid, but they cannot reach every point because the front line moves too quickly. Residents feel stuck in a vacuum with no clear government, no normal social structure. In such conditions, whoever shows up the most consistently is the easiest to trust. And in many areas, that has been Russia. Not perfectly, not without problems, but small consistency saves lives. And for residents, that is enough. After everything, one truth remains. Civilians are the biggest victims. They lose families, they lose futures, and they have no choice but to wait. Wait for whoever brings stability, whoever brings order, whoever gives them a chance at a normal life. If Russia provides that, they accept it. If Ukraine brings it someday, they will accept that too. But for now, in many areas, Russia appears to offer something residents urgently need. And in a land shattered by long war, even a small moment of calm feels like a major victory.